What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Carrot Juice Podcast. I am your host, Monte Lee. This is episode 37. Before we get into it here today, if you're watching this on YouTube, which I recommend, go ahead and like the video for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so anytime I drop some content, you can be made aware of it. We are talking about a serious story that just developed recently here. Today, we are talking about Henry Ruggs, the breakout Raiders star wide receiver, who was involved in a fatal car accident, which resulted, unfortunately, in death. It looks like the incident occurred early on today, November 2nd, early in the morning around 3 a.m. So, without further ado, I'm going to get right into it today here, guys. This is a heavy story. So the source is courtesy of TMZ. So let's get right into it. According to TMZ Sports, Henry Ruggs III, the Raiders star, was involved in a fatal car accident and will be charged with DUI, resulting in death. So what my background is, and if you guys have been rocking with me for a while, you already know I am currently a probation officer. I'm a probation agent. I supervise probationers who are involved in DUI cases. Operating while intoxicated. I also do investigations, so I'm familiar with these type of cases. So this is very unfortunate. That's Henry Ruggs there. And let's go and find out more about what happened in this story. So the NFL just released a statement on Ruggs' incident saying, "Our hearts go out to the family and friends of the victim of this horrific tragedy. We will continue to gather facts and monitor the matter under our policies, but our thoughts at this time are with those impacted by this devastating incident." At 11:44 a.m. Pacific time, they obtained images and video from the crash site taken just minutes after the collision. An eyewitness tells us the two men stopped at the scene and attempted to put out the blaze with a fire extinguisher, but it was too much for them to handle. And it looks like we have some dispatch audio. I'm just going to say here right now, this is disturbing images and disturbing audio. So viewer discretion is advised when it comes to this content right now. So I'm going to play the audio right here. This is the dispatch audio.
I just want to make sure you guys copy that there might be someone still inside the vehicle that's on fire. I got your rescue added in the heavy also. Let me know if you need something else.
Engine 22 is on scene, establishing Rainbow Command. As reported, we do have one vehicle that's on fire, fully involved. Another vehicle that's also involved in the accident, it's not on fire. Looks like we have two people sitting on the sidewalk. Break dispatch. Go ahead and start the second ambulance, please.
Yes, sir. We see that the call got changed to an Alpha. Are we still responding to this call?
Yeah, it's affirmative. The Alpha unconscious. You guys still respond.
Bridge 32, copy.
So that's the audio of the incident there. There was two men by the site, by the crash site, one person in the vehicle, and I believe that is the person that unfortunately perished as a result of this crime. So it says the identity of the person sitting on the sidewalk to the right of the vehicle on fire is not currently known. That's the vehicle there on fire. Investigators are still on the scene working to determine exactly how the crash happened. And there's looks like investigators marking and doing their investigation. So it also says here, the Raiders have addressed the incident, saying, "We are devastated by the loss of life, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the victim's family. The team adds it is in the process of gathering more information. At 10:53 a.m. Pacific time today, cops tell us Ruggs was behind the wheel driving his Chevrolet Corvette when he crashed into a Toyota RAV4 around 3:39 a.m. this morning. The Toyota caught on fire and first responders located a deceased person in the SUV. Ruggs was transported to a local hospital for treatment on non-life-threatening injuries. Cops tell us the NFL star showed signs of impairment at the scene, and the 22-year-old will be charged with DUI resulting in death. If convicted on that charge, Ruggs could face up to 20 years in prison. Looks like they have more dispatch audio, which I believe we already listened to, but I'm going to just check this and play this to see if this is something additional beyond what we already heard.
I just want to make sure you guys...
No, that's what we already heard. All right, so we'll just continue on with the article here. All right. So a law enforcement source tells us that at least one person involved in the crash died. That was at 10:40 a.m. Ruggs' attorneys, David Chesnoff and Richard Skonfeld, told TMZ Sports, on behalf of our client Henry Ruggs III, we are conducting our own investigation as of this writing and ask everyone to reserve judgment until all the facts are gathered. A source close to Ruggs tells us the NFLer is expected to be okay. The condition of the other people involved in the crash is still unclear. Raiders star wide receiver Henry Ruggs III, the 12th overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, was involved in a serious car accident in Las Vegas Tuesday morning. And law enforcement sources told TMZ that the 22-year-old Ruggs was in a wreck in a central Las Vegas area around 3:40 a.m. There's another video here of the aftermath of the scene, and I'll play that for you now. Looks like that's the RAV4. All right, so it's just pretty much showing the scene there. Okay. All right, so it also says furthermore in the article that no words on if the cops believe alcohol or drugs played a factor in the accident. It's still unclear what Ruggs' condition is. There's a local report that says there was at least one fatality in the crash, as we already know. So that's Henry Ruggs on the field. All right, so it says here, prior to the crash, it appears Ruggs was at a local Top Golf location in Vegas. He posted video from the facility just before midnight. Ruggs was a superstar for the Alabama Crimson Tide from 2017 to 2019, winning the national championship in 2017. The Montgomery, Alabama native is having a breakout year for the Raiders with 24 receptions, 469 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Ruggs has previously spoken out about his inspiration to play football, saying it was a childhood friend who encouraged him to try out. The friend tragically passed away at 17 years old, and the receiver has honored him with a salute after every touchdown. We've reached out to Ruggs' camp and the Raiders for comment, and it says so far no word back, but it looks like more of that was in the article. I think I did see. All right, this is the video here that has the actual showing the car on fire.
Hopefully the ones in that car got out.
Looks like this was some passerbys giving.
I have no idea. They got into it.
My goodness.
Hopefully the ones in that car got out, no?
What happened?
I have no idea. They got into it.
I'll give my thoughts on this. Whew, guys. I'll tell you, that's some heavy stuff. And I've already kind of told you guys what my background is. I work in law enforcement. I do investigations. I'm a probation agent. I'm familiar with these cases, everything that they entail. And I'll say, Mr. Ruggs is innocent until proven guilty. However, this does not look good. It said he showed signs of impairment. So usually when officers state that type of information, they saw some signs of impairment. You usually aren't going to be charged with something like an operating while intoxicated or a DUI unless they do a preliminary breath test or something called a PBT. Or they could do a blood test at the scene and wait for the results to come back on that. Either way, this is not looking good. And what I wanted to hearken to and what I want to say is, far too often in this age with modern technology and all of the accesses we have in this new age, I just don't understand how people are still deciding to drive under the influence. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. You have Uber, you have Lyft. You're more wealthy than just normal people have those options. Okay, no excuse. But if you are wealthy, you could hire a driver to chauffeur you anywhere you go. There is literally no reason whatsoever to drive under the influence of intoxicants or drugs or what have you. This is a public service announcement. They didn't disclose the name of the person that passed away. Condolences goes out to the family. Nobody should have to lose their family member for somebody else's negligence, especially for something that could be 100% prevented by literally just following the law. Uber, Lyft, calling a cab. It's 100% avoidable. And it happens far too often. People, they get used to just being able to say, you know what, I only had a couple, or it's been a couple of hours, or I just ate something, but I should be okay. But when you're doing that, you're not only risking your life, you're risking somebody else's life by taking that chance and taking that risk. And that's something that you can't do. So he's innocent until proven guilty. However, if he is found to be guilty of this, he should be prosecuted and he should serve his time to the fullest extent of the law. That is just my opinion on it. And I'm staunch in that because it's literally a crime that is 100% preventable. I talk to victims all the time. I read the reports. I do the investigation. And it is disheartening to see because it's literally something that you can prevent 100%. So what if it's an inconvenience to you and you got to go back and get your car? So what? Don't drive under the influence. Don't drive when you've smoked some weed or if you've been under influence of some substance. It's not worth it because you're not only putting your life in danger, you're putting in danger the community. This is a heavy episode, I know. But what are we going to do about it as a society? In today's day and age, alcohol, liquor happy hours. In America today, the consumption of alcohol during social gatherings is more prevalent than ever. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a drink. I enjoy a good drink. I enjoy a Manhattan like the best of them. However, there is a responsibility that you must have when you decide to drink out in public. That's why I'm a huge proponent of drinking in your house. Having something to drink at your house if you're going to have more than one or two. Just do it at home, okay? This has just hit me because it's far more prevalent than you ever could know. Because I see this all the time. And there's a lot of people who are lucky that they're alive today. And if you're listening to this right now, you're watching this video, I know you've had that story where you were out hanging out with your friends, having drinks, had a couple of shots, got late. You waited around for a couple of hours or an hour or so and you say, oh, I'm all right. And then the next day you wake up and then you look around and you're at your home or your apartment or whatever. And you think to yourself and you try to remember. And then this really scary feeling just kind of goes over you. It just goes over your whole body. And you try to remember how you got home the next day. When you try to remember how you got home last night. And it's hazy. And then you realize you don't remember how you got home. Have you had that experience? If you've had that experience, this situation that Henry Ruggs is going through could very well be you. You could have killed somebody. Why am I saying all this? Because I want you to learn from this incident and learn from your past behavior. That's what I always talk about on this podcast. Don't let your friends drive drunk. Please be the example and don't you drive drunk. If you are under the influence whatsoever, call Uber. Call a Lyft. Call a friend. Call a cab. It's not worth it. This man is gonna, if he is found guilty, a lot of his life is going to be gone. Rightfully so, if he's guilty of the crime. But I'm going to keep harking back to this one point, and then I'll get out of here. This crime, it's 100% preventable. Oof. Yeah, I ain't got nothing else to say, guys. All right. I appreciate you guys for listening. I appreciate you guys for providing me feedback and support on the show. Go ahead and interact with me in the comments on this. Let me know what you guys think about this story, and without incriminating yourself, let me know if you've had any close calls or any situations that happen in your life that involves or revolves around this drunk driving is really an epidemic. And yeah, like the video if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content. And like I say every time, love somebody, hug somebody, do something good for somebody, not expecting anything in return. And I'll see you guys in the next podcast next week. Take care. Peace.